둘 upstairs. Not responding. Good evening, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well. It's so good to be on with you tonight and actually close to on time. I'm excited to be here, and I am thankful for your support. If you have not already, go ahead and like the video, share the video, let me know where you are tuned in from. Let's get right into this tonight. 60 minutes, and that's it. I made a commitment to myself um, to really try to honor that on Thursdays. I've got to do a better job of that. Some exciting things to announce real soon. But in the meantime, I need to just kind of all get us prepared for shorter lives on Thursdays. I love Thursdays. I wouldn't miss Thursdays in the world. And actually, I had the opportunity to have an earlier live tonight. We haven't been at 9 o'clock in a very long time. So I'm excited to be here earlier, but we've got to stick to the 60-minute thing on Thursdays. If you want longer work, I certainly encourage you to join Patreon group, which is really growing. Shout out to all of my Patreon subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. And if you have not subscribed to Patreon, make sure you do that right away. If you are subscribed on Instagram, remember that's going to go away on February the 5th. So you've got time to do that. If you are a Instagram subscriber, you should have a promo code for a special discount. So just check the feed or shoot us a DM and we can take care of that. Where you tune in from tonight? Huntersville, thank you so much. Baltimore, hey. Bronx, Harlem Girl, Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you, Chicago. Appreciate you. I know it's freezing up there. Dallas, Memphis. I appreciate you. Let me know where you tune in from. City, state, or country. If you're not from America, we are in 49 countries now and right at 1,211 clients around the world. And so, really appreciate your support. All of you. Houston, thank you so much, Chelsea. I appreciate that. Plainfield, Illinois. Hey, Miss Mary, appreciate you. Sacramento, California. El Paso, Texas. Dallas, Texas again. I appreciate all of you. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Houston again. Wow. Hey, April, appreciate you. Greensboro, Miss Caitlin, Delaware, El Paso, Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you so much. I was talking about Trinidad and Tobago with my kids a couple of days ago. Orange County, California. Thank you so much. Charlotte. Hey, Miss Bennett. Appreciate you. New Orleans. I'm going to spend some time there here. Awesome new corporate client in New Orleans and looking forward to that. Stafford, Virginia. Appreciate you. Rachel Davenport, Florida, Bermuda, Island Gal. You're always so supportive. Thank you. St. Kitts and Nevis. All right. Savannah, Georgia, Suffolk, Virginia, LA, Mount Holly, North Carolina. So y'all are rolling in tonight. Thank you so much. Chicago, Idaho, Miss Stephanie, I appreciate you for tuning in. My sole Idaho viewer, for all I know, DC. Thank you. Wake County, North Carolina. All right. Y'all like the video, share the video. Let me know where you are tuned in from tonight. I want to get right into this. I've got 9:15 and I want to be very mindful of the time. to try to have us off by 10:15. But I want to give you something that I think is going to be helpful. I have a lot to announce really soon. It's not quite time yet. I'm going to be meeting with some folks that I'm going to ask to volunteer for me for the 2026 live events. And so I'm going to be sending some things out to them to try to get a meeting and get these things going. But it all has implications for everything that we do. And so I do appreciate your support. Thank you so much, Janice Parker, for the super sticker. Appreciate you. And of course, want to encourage you to support the show. The format will continue to remain the same on Thursdays, but just shorter because I'm going to be offering so many more courses now. I've got an incredible, I think it's a 4 or 5 week course that's going to be coming up that will span the length of a month. And it's going to be on the generations and healing. And it's one of the most powerful courses I think I've ever put together. But I'm going to be doing about 7 or 8 courses this year. That's really the wave of the future for my work because it allows me to see more people and not take up so much of the time that I now have just on demand, kind of being pulled in a lot of different directions. Growth is a beautiful thing, but it's also stressful. And so there ain't but a certain amount of hours in a day. And I'm doing the best that I can to try to manage the hours that I have. And so I am scaling in a good direction, but I hope you all will participate and there will be opportunities to participate on a lot of different levels, including day and a half long events. And so it's going to be fun. Excited to work with you and really appreciate your support in advance. Um, like the video, share the video again. Also, let me just let you know the 5 Areas of Healing is back in stock. So those should have started going out this week. Those are back in stock. Grab your copy of the work if you haven't already. It's already gone out of sold out once, and I think we're getting low and about to sell out again. Don't make it happen, let it go. All of those products, they're all available on my website. Check it out. Real quick, shout out to Inspire Nation again, to all of my subscribers on Patreon. I really appreciate you. Support the show. The ways to support the show, let's get that on the screen. You guys got shocked last week. It was not up. I'm really trying to hold fast to that. If we don't get enough people to support the show tonight, super chats or just direct support, the ways to support the show are on the screen. Then we will just replay the live for Patreon subscribers. And so membership does have its benefits. And we are doing some incredible lessons in the subscriber space. We had a lesson on Monday. Just when you think the week can't get better, it gets better every week. And so we've got a part two coming up, actually, a part two of that, and then another live. So I will not be live next Thursday. All goes well. I'll be traveling and maybe trying to find a little bit of rest. I only got 3 days off over the holiday break. And so it is a very busy time of the year, as always for me. And so I told somebody I like to take off when people are working because it's just the easiest way for me to do it. And so I will not go live next Thursday, but I'm going live twice for subscribers next week, 2 times. And so if you want to get some extra work, I'm telling you, the subscriber space is the way to go. The way to subscribe or the link to subscribe is in my bio, as well as the description of this video. Check it out and you're going to be very glad you did. Connecticut, thank you so much. Dallas, appreciate you. And it is absolutely worth it. And you might want to get it while it is at the rate that it is, because that will change in a year. All right. So I appreciate you and grateful for your support. Shout out to all of our moderators. Thank you so much for your work and your support. I really appreciate you. Thank you for everything that you do to moderate the discussion. Hey, y'all, let's here at Eagle Nation, let's try to keep the comments professional and also mindful of other people's journeys. In the event that you see something ignorant in the comments, don't go back and forth with birds. At Eagle Nation, we fly high above birds. And so if you see something crazy in the chat area, just drop an eagle. And our awesome moderators do a wonderful job of zapping them out of the chat area, right? So don't go back and forth with people. Just drop an eagle. Moderators will find the inappropriate comment. We'll get rid of the comment and them. All right. And so I appreciate you and thank you so much for your support. Now, I want you to put in the chat, truth is everyone has mommy, daddy issues. Let's talk about it. Everyone has mommy, daddy issues. This is going to be fun. And I'm excited to teach this because I wow. Let me let me just say, Man, probably the last 60 days have probably been some of the most interesting calls I've had in my career. And we're talking just under 20 years of experience. I, uh, Probably some of the most interesting calls I've had in my career. And a lot of this stuff is frankly coming back to mommy and daddy issues. And I want to talk about this tonight because I need to dispel some myths about mommy and daddy issues. There's a lot that is said in popular culture or social culture or pop culture, just general culture about people and mommy and daddy issues. And I want to just kind of dispel some things about mommy and daddy issues because here's the reality. Parenting by far. Oh, I forgot. If I say something that makes sense to you, type chat church in the comments with as many R's as possible. And of course, support the show. Feel free to drop a salad in the comment area if I say something that you like. And when you do that, you can just support the show as well. The truth is, parenting is the hardest job in the world. There is no harder job than parenting. And because one of the reasons why parenting is such a hard job is because if you think about it, let's just kind of do a brief overview of this, and then I'm going to give you some things to look out for to try to figure this stuff out. If you think about parenting being the hardest job in the world, and whether you're a parent or not, this is still going to be relevant because if you are a parent, you can pay attention to what you're doing. And even if you're not a parent, you have been a child. So I will say to you, parenting is hard because when we look at things like, let's say, for instance, the attachment style, when we think about our attachment style and how attachment styles are born from the ages of 3 to 8, what makes this so incredibly powerful, thank you, Miss Naomi, so powerful is that when a child is starting to formulate their personality and their attachment style at right around the age of 2-ish to 3, they don't have clear communication abilities. They don't. Thank you, Miss Barbara. They don't have clear communication issues. Because they don't have clear communication issues, it is very challenging if you've been a parent to be able to look at a child who's 2 or 3 and ascertain what he or she needs. It's hard. And so, for that reason, among others, we all, as parents, wound our children. If you are a parent under the sound of my voice, you have wounded your child. You have. And the reason, one of the main reasons I know you have, is because it is impossible for you to understand the needs of a child at 2, 3, sometimes even 5, 6, 7, 8, when they think they are clearly communicating things to you, but they don't have the ability to clearly articulate the depths of their challenges, the depths of their needs, the depths of their issues, etc. And so, what do parents have to do? Parents then have to take what is given to them, either verbally, what is given to them through behavior, and they have to figure out what a child needs. Okay? This is what you do as a parent. This is what was done to you as a child, which is why I do give an element of grace to parents, particularly parents who raised you, or maybe you're a parent that's raising a child who did everything they could to make sure their child was as best raised as possible. I do give grace to that because I'm telling you, you can do everything that you think you know to do within your power to do and still wound your children. And I'm going to give you an example. The easiest example of this is what I call a perfectionism wound. And I'm not going to go through wounds tonight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some needs that will provide some insight into whether or not you have a parent wound. And you're going to see that the 4 or 5 examples I give you will speak to mostly all of you. But let's just use correction wound or perfection wounds as an example, right? Many of you know my parents. Some of you have met my parents. If you were at the Charlotte stop, you met my parents. My parents are freaking awesome. I think I have the best parents in the world, straight up. And I make no qualms about that. I think my parents are freaking awesome. My father is Phi Theta Kappa. So my father made 2 B's in college. He has a PhD from Virginia Tech. He has his bachelor's degrees. He had double major in undergrad. He has his master's degree from Radford University. He made two B's in college all of his life. So he made one B in undergrad. He made one B on the PhD level at Virginia Tech. And he's convinced that because the professor knew he was a pastor and that professor was an atheist, that that professor gave him a B. Like you can't, you can't, you, you can't. My dad is just, that's him, right? Like, and he's still mad about this B to this day. Well, why is that all important? It's important because when they raised me and my younger brother and my younger sister, especially my dad, more so my dad than my mom, we got grounded for like B's. B as in boy. So let's just say I came home and I had a B on my report card in math, and a 90 was an A, and I got an 88 B. Dad'd be like, okay, well, give me your phone. Give me your phone. Or back then it was give me your Nintendo. Right? So we did. Now, looking at that, in the moment as a child, I thought it was incredibly like hard. Like that was a lot, Daddy. Come on, man, it's a B. Like it's kids out here that's got D's, that's got Jordans. Some of y'all let your kids make D's and you give them Jordans too. Different conversation for a different day. But I'm like, dog, man, like we got B's, man. Yeah, yeah, give me the phone. Now, on the surface, to other parents, wow, he's a solid parent. And he was, and he is. Okay. So make no mistake about it. This ain't no qualm against my parents. But watch this. One of the things that I noticed as a young man, especially when I went off to undergrad, one of the things that I noticed about myself is that need to be exceptional, almost perfect, followed me as I began to grow up as a young adult, where not only did it make me extra hard on myself when it came to things I didn't accomplish, things I fell short at, etc., where I can honestly, transparently say it challenged me was when I started seriously dating. Watch. It challenged me where I started seriously dating because I expected people, the women that I dated, to show up perfect, right? To the point where my fuse was very short. That if she didn't do something, didn't say something that I didn't like, he was cut off. And it could be the smallest of things. But that played into the reality of my young adulthood in that I expected friends, people I tried to date, whatever, to show up in a perfect way because I had what I didn't know at the time was a wound, a perfectionism wound that was grounded, watch, in good parenting. So let me ask y'all a question. If a good parent can wound their kids, what in the ham sandwich are those of you that don't even raise your kids doing to your kids? No, I'm serious. I'm serious. If a good parent can wound a kid, what in the world are those of you that don't even try to raise your kid? What you think you're doing to your kid? In fact, I had some situations that happened later in my adult life. I won't get into the details, but This water is so good. I had some situations that happened later on in my life. And when I came to my parents to share with them some things that had transpired, I came to them about 3 months after they had transpired. I came to them about 3 months after they had transpired and something had fallen apart. And I said to them what it was. And I remember succinctly my mom saying, Zeb, when did this happen? And I told her. She said, 3 months ago? I said, yes, ma'am. My daddy looked at me and said, Daddy, son, why didn't you tell us? And it was at that moment that I realized something. As a full grown man, I realized that I didn't tell them not because I couldn't talk to them. I didn't tell them because intrinsically, deep down, I had a perfectionism wound where I did not want to be perceived as a failure. And y'all, this came from good parenting. This came from good parenting. So the $1 million question is simple. If this kind of stuff comes from good parenting, what in the world do you think you do to your kids when you don't raise them? When you don't raise your kids, what do you think you do to your kids when you don't raise them? If you are raising them and you still won't, you're raising them well, and you still wound them, what do you think that you do to them if you don't raise them at all? Huh? This is why I tell those of you it is important that your kids have at least one healthy parent. They don't have to have two. I'm telling you what the research says. They don't have to have two. Two is a bonus, but a kid needs at least one healthy parent. Why? Because they need at least one example to understand of what it looks like to do the right things. If they don't have that and they have two wounded, two unhealthy, two toxic, two damaged parents, I'm not saying they're going to come out damaged, but I'm saying the likelihood is real high. So I don't understand, y'all, how we expect the kids we don't raise not to be wounded when some of us were raised great and we still came out with wounds. And this is one of many things that makes parenting so hard. What makes parenting so hard is that when you're trying to raise your child, you really are doing the best you can to raise them according to what you know, according to what you've been raised to believe, what you understand. That's really what you're doing, which is why it is important that you are raised well, but more than that, that you are aware of your wounds so that you don't perpetuate these subconscious wounds that you have that many of you aren't even aware that you do have. So we all got wounds. We all have wounds. And because we all have wounds, there are two major issues I need you to recognize. Number one, when you're thinking about your wounds, it's really simple. There are only two questions you need to think about. Number one, do we recognize them? Do we, in our relationship patterns, in our friendship patterns, and our, thank you so much, Shauna, for tapping the screen. You all tap on TikTok. In our relationship patterns, in our work relationship patterns, in our family dynamics, and whatever, do we recognize any wounds? And two, have we healed them? That's all you need to know about wounds. You don't need to carry wounds as a badge of honor. You don't need to carry wounds as something that is so, like a trophy or something. You just need to know if you recognize your wounds and if you have healed them. Now, I hear some of you, somebody said, I think in Instagram, you attract who you are. Yeah, that's 50-50. Them people at the World Trade Center, when them planes went into that building, didn't attract that. This is why those of you that believe in this, you attract what you are stuff, need to walk light. That law has stipulations. A child that is 2 years old that is violated by an adult didn't attract that. And you don't have an argument for that. So this is why it is so important that we realize that whether a child is wounded intentionally or unintentionally, it is so important to realize that every child is wounded. And the hope is that a child is wounded out of the graces of an attempt to be raised well. If some of us are honest, a lot of the things that we have experienced, we didn't attract. It happened. And y'all, that's a deeper level spiritual principle than this law of attraction that many of you live by and hinge everything on. There's a deeper level, spiritual level you got to consider, and that is some stuff happened and it ain't got nothing to do with you. There are some things that occur in your life and you didn't ask for. And it is because there is a greater level of understanding, there is a greater level of purpose that is associated with that thing. I, I can't get sidetracked. I gotta stay on track. 10:15. I gotta stay on track. And there's so much more I want to say about that. But the nut but the nuts and bolts of this is y'all. The only two things you need to know about wounds are number one, do you recognize them? And two, have you healed them? And I've got some content in the subscribers. In fact, with the subscribers last year, I went through about 7 or 8 wounds. That was about a 7 or 8 part series. There's so many different wounds. All right. And I couldn't make tonight about going through the wounds, but this is what I do want to do. I want to now pivot and I want to give you 4 things I want you to be on the lookout for that will give you insight to whether or not you are wounded. Let me say it another way. Your relationship with critical needs provides insight into our wounds. And there are 4 critical things that you need to measure that will help you understand whether or not you have a mama or a daddy wound. Now, I hope I've already explained this. We all have mommy and daddy wounds. If you had both parents in your house and they were just stellar parents, you still have wounds. I've already established that. But I'm going to give you 4 things. I'm going to give you 4 things that I want you to look out for that are critical needs. And based on your experience with these needs, that will help you determine whether or not you have mommy daddy wounds. And I'm going to tell you, of the just under 400 people that are on tonight on all the networks, there's not a single one of you where one of these needs you won't see a deficiency. I guarantee you. Four things I want you to evaluate to determine if you've got mommy daddy wounds. This making sense? Y'all supporting the show? I hope so. I hope you are. Again, y'all, I want you to type in the chat area real quick levels. Some of this stuff, I don't even have time to go into deeper levels on, but more than that, some of you don't even have the capacity to receive. It really, truly takes a different level of understanding to realize that some stuff don't happen to you because you didn't attract it. Some stuff happens through you because it was assigned to you. You're going to have to get off the short bus to get that. You're going to have to go a little bit deeper mentally and emotionally to understand that some things don't happen to you, they happen through you. Which means there are some things you experience that are greater than even what you understand. That's a spiritual principle. If you ain't got no spiritual foundation, that makes zero sense. Okay? I can't go back and forth with y'all tonight. All right. Four critical needs I want you to think about that will give some insight to your wounds. In other words, if you have challenges in any of these needs that I described, it's a good chance you have a mama or a daddy wound. Okay? Y'all with me? Oh, let's get those ways to support the show. I need to catch my breath. This water. Oh, and it's only black folk. We the only supposed to do this. Black folk the only folks. Black folk the only supposed to drink something real cold and take deep breaths. We be like, man. we, 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 we are the only people that do this. Man, that's some good water. Nah, this don't need no lemon. This Saratoga don't need no lemon. It's the truth. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Let me tell you, that was so. Oh, let me just get a little bit more of that. Then we're gonna get into these needs, y'all. I'm sorry. We've been doing good on time. We're gonna be out 10:15 tonight. Doc's gonna do a better job of this. If you want more, you got to join this subscription space or meet me in the city coming up this year. Hoping to have some information on that real soon. All right. Now, four things I want you to think about. Four needs. If you have a challenge in any of these four needs, there's a good chance you got a mommy or a daddy wound. Thank you so much, Miss Tammany, for your support. I appreciate you. Are y'all supporting the show? You better. Yes, we take deep. Hey, Sister Stephanie, we take deep breaths when we taste the water. I can't help it. Yes, it's sparkling. It's so good. Oh my God. All right. Yeah, when we thirsty too. All right, let me stop being silly. I'm clearly tired. Four needs. You ready? Thank you, Ms. Rachel. I appreciate you. All right, let's look at this. Need number one. What is your relationship? I want you to ask yourself, when I give you these needs, here's the pre-question I want you to ask to each of these things. Write this down. What is my historical relationship with? Okay. What is my historical relationship with, number one, harm? Harm. We're not going to go over wounds tonight, but I'm going to give you four needs that you need to examine and identify and do some journaling on to determine if you got a mama or daddy wound. What's your historical relationship with harm? Harm. How were you trained, conditioned to understand, to process harm, danger, trouble? Were you supported? Were you supported in situations where there was harm on the horizon? Were you left out to dry? Uh-oh. Or I like that on TikTok. Were you forced to have to fix it yourself? And because you were forced to fix it yourself, now you have a hard time opening up to other people, helping you, assisting you, being there for you. I've seen a lot of people who've had to fix problems themselves, not only become uber independent early or young, but then when they become old, become avoided because they've had to do so much work to fix so much on their own that when somebody gets close enough to them to help them, they get nervous because they don't know what that feels like. So when you're not used to receiving things like support, right? You can put in parentheses next to that word things like support, protection. We're going to kind of get into that one in a second with a different one. It shows up as a wound that typically manifests itself through how you respond to things like harm, support. Some of you can't even take support. You can't even accept support from people who genuinely want to support you because you have an unhealthy history with people supporting you. You have an unhealthy history with people supporting you. So when people genuinely show up for you authentically, you struggle to receive it because of your historical challenges with harm. And guess what, y'all? Chances are that's a mama daddy wound. Don't know what the wound is. It could be a lot of different things, but that's where it came from. Is this making sense? This manifests in your relationships. This is why if you're going to get married, especially I'm talking to married people, sure, it can relate to relationships to an extent, but if you're going to get married, and I'm talking to men and women, because for some reason, this toxic culture has a lot of you bimbo women thinking that you're the only ones that need to feel safe from harm. And a lot of you toxic red pill guys are thinking that you're the only one that's supposed to be keeping people from harm. And that's because both of y'all, your knowledge of healing and how to live a healed life is so surface. Let me tell you something. Ladies, that man that you're going to get in a relationship with, that you're going to marry, you need to make sure you evaluate his relationship with harm as a child. You want an easy dating question? Here's a good one. Hey, sir, describe to me a time where you've ever felt like your life was at danger or you on the verge of receiving harm. What was the outcome and what role did your parents play in it? Y'all don't be asking. Y'all still in 2026 saying crazy stuff like, what's your shoe size? What's your sign? What's your sign? What's your shoe size? What month you born in? Are you a water or a fire sign? And you wonder why your dating choices and outcomes are what they are. Ask them about their relationship with harm. Hey, sir. Hey, ma'am. Young lady that I'm going to trust to have my back and to ensure that I'm not in a space of harm. Tell me about your relationship with harm. How were you shielded or exposed to harm as a child? And what role did your caregivers play in that? Because I'm going to tell you something. You take a man that has an unhealthy relationship with harm, he won't know how to protect you. You take a woman who has never been protected, she won't have a clue what to do with you. And even if you are able to protect her, she won't know how to receive your protection. She'll perceive your protection as doing too much. Watch this. Or she will actually think that your protection is square and will call not feeling safe okay. That's how you end up getting toxic people. There's a lot of theories behind why a woman likes a bad guy, supposedly likes a bad boy, and why a guy supposedly likes a bad girl. There's a lot of theories behind it. But one of the theories that I subscribe to is around the context of harm. That most women that like boys that are bad guys have an unhealthy relationship with harm. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm talking to all of you. Most of you women and men that have an unhealthy relation, that love a bad boy, that love a bad girl, I guarantee you, you have an historical, unhealthy relationship with harm. Look how quiet it is. I don't see no churches. I ain't got no salads. Patreon, y'all gonna be able to chew on this one. Told you I ain't playing with y'all this year. Yeah, guarantee it. Yeah, I just like that. Hold on. Yeah, I just like a bad boy, Doc. I like him a little rough on the edges, Doc. And I had a client tell me one time, Doc, I just like every now and then, Doc, you're gonna think I'm crazy. This is a true story. This is in my lineup to talk about. Y'all wait till I share this video. I said, ma'am, are you sure you want me to share this video? Yeah, Doc, I believe it might help somebody. Okay. She said, Doc, I know you think I'm a crazy, but every now and then I like for my man to slap me around. I said, say what? I like for my man to slap me around. Yeah, I had a client tell me that. And she wants me to share the story. And when we dived into her childhood, we discovered she had an unhealthy relationship with harm. No, I'm not lying. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. I like that question. That's a really good question on TikTok. Can you explain how abusive people may relate to harm? Very good question. Because abuse absolutely has implications as it relates to our relationship with harm. And people that have been abused in many different ways, whether it is through physical relationship way, I don't want to say the word and get flagged, through physical relationship way, physically abused, mentally abused, emotionally abused, you can have a very jaded perception of harm that causes you sometimes to be hypersensitive to harm, meaning people can show up in your life. If you have a historical relationship with abuse, people can show up in your life with great intentions, but if you have not healed the wounds as a result of your improper relationship with harm, you won't be able to receive proper love. Which is why anybody that marries someone who has an abusive background, you need to do your due diligence. Hear me. You need to do your due diligence on anybody you date or marry that comes from an abusive past, not to criticize them for the abuse, but to ensure they have repaired their relationship with things like harm, danger. One of the other ones I'm about to get into that I don't want to say yet because I'm getting ready to go to it in number two. Did that make sense? That was a really good question on TikTok. Thank you so much. Are y'all there? This is making sense? Number two, let's keep moving. What is my historical relationship with number two, safety? No, thank you. Thank you for the question. What is my historical relationship with safety? What is my historical relationship with safety? If you want to know whether or not you have a mother or daddy wound, ask yourself what has been your historical relationship with safety? And safety is more than you just having a place to sleep. Safety is more than just in the physical sense. Safety is also a mental and emotional construct, which means a lot of you grew up in two-parent homes, but mentally and emotionally, you never felt supported. Uh-oh. You never felt mentally, emotionally supported. And if you've never felt mentally, emotionally supported, and even if you grew up in a warm home and had a warm bed to sleep in every night and had food every day, and you never, even if you had all of those external things, If you didn't have that mental and emotional support, sometimes you will show up in spaces reflecting the behavior of someone who has not experienced true safety. Safety that is pure and that is holistic. Watch. Safety that is pure and that is holistic covers you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Would you record that? You're going to be the smartest person at the water cooler tomorrow. Safety that is holistic supports you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. This kind of safety is without condition, meaning you don't have to earn it, you don't have to pay for it, you don't have to do your chores to get it, you don't have to make good grades to have it. Because I'm telling you, if you have to do any of those things just to get safety, you will find yourself living in a place where most of your relationships and interactions are transactional. Y'all, you want to know where the people that end up in bad relationships that are transactional, you want to know where typically their wounds come from? A place of safety. All of you that stayed in relationships that were bad, you knew they were bad, but you didn't have a job right now, so you couldn't leave because y'all was living together and he or she was paying your bills, but you couldn't leave because y'all, was living together and you was without a job and they were paying the bills, so you stayed. You probably have a wound associated to safety, which is why you stayed in what was a transactional situation, even though you didn't feel mentally and emotionally safe. This is way better than y'all saying church and way better than y'all support. Most transactional relationships are born out of spaces with people who have safety challenges. And here's the thing. When you have wounds related to safety, it is almost always about survival. And let's face it, when it comes down to needing to survive, most people are going to do whatever it takes, what? To survive. So this one historically does well at creating transactional relationships. Watch this. This one is also the one that will turn you into Oprah Winfrey on Color Purple. What was Oprah Winfrey's name on Color Purple? What was Oprah Winfrey's name on Color Purple? Somebody real quick. Sophia. Perfect. And I'm not just talking to women. I'm talking about men too. I was sharing with someone this week, a mentee, something that was really helpful to them. I said to him, you can tell when people have a safety wound when sometimes they are overly harsh. When people are overly harsh, sometimes that is a reflection of a wound related to their need for safety not being met. Watch. Which causes you then to show up extra mean to people who don't even know you. Oh my God. Y'all, let me just be very transparent here. I meet people from around the world weekly. 1,211 clients, 1,211 clients in 49 countries. I meet some incredibly beautiful women, handsome men, single, that have challenges with needs related to safety, who wonder why they're single. And one of the things I get them to understand, in addition to their attachment style, is that when you have needs related to safety that haven't been met, you're typically those types of people who are extra guarded, who have a thick shell on the outside of you that is really a means of you putting up a wall of defense that keeps people from only getting so close to you in the name of protecting yourself, except it is so harsh that it's really not protection, it's hurt. It's a wound. Because there is a big difference between having up boundaries and having up walls. I said that boundaries were fences, not walls. So when you put up a wall, you're putting up a totally different thing. A fence you can pull up out the ground. A wall, you're gonna have to do some good knocking, and you're gonna have to do some digging, you have to do some plowing, you have to do all these things. And many people, many of you are single, not because you ain't a good catch, not because you ain't attractive. Many of you single because you have safety wounds. And people really can't get close to you like that or really get to engage you because when it gets a little sticky or different, here comes the wall. This is why it's important that you heal. So you don't look up and say, man, I wanted a husband, but not realize you missed him. So you don't look up and say, man, I wanted a wife and not realize you missed her. Because when you heal, you don't mind allowing people to come in because you know you have a set of internal boundaries. And then when things don't are not right and they're not aligned with your values, then you can see that lack of alignment, you can address it. If it's not corrected, you can move on. That's what secure people do. Broken people who have needs related to safety will literally be borderline schizophrenic when it comes to how they respond to you when things feel uncomfortable. Is this making sense at all? Is this making sense? All right. So this is a big one, and you got to be careful with this one because this gets us in transactional situations. You people that stay in marriage for the kids, or you people that stay in marriage because the money, or you don't know where you're gonna live, or what am I gonna do, and I'm used to this lifestyle. I've heard it all in this space, for men and women, not just women, men too. I don't know where I'm gonna live. I don't know where my money's coming from. I gotta stick around. I just need 3 more years. You probably have a need, a dysfunctional need connected to safety, or rather, some dysfunction connected to your need for safety. Guarantee it. Because those folks are historically known to be in transactional relationships, transactional friendships, you stay on jobs that pay your bills when the supervisor pays you, treats you bad. You stay on jobs where the supervisor treats you bad, the organization treats you like crap, and you stay. You know why? Because you have some challenges with needs as it relates to safety. Yes, you do. And many of you say stuff like, you disguise it in an excuse. Well, Doc, I got to pay the bills. Somebody got to pay the bill. How am I going to pay the bill? Find you a job that aligns with your values. Thank you, Ms. Robinson, for your support. I appreciate you. I need to see. I need to see some more super chats. This live ain't gonna go up. It's going to subscribers. Thank you. I appreciate you, Ms. Robinson. West Coast client. I like this question. I hope you don't mind me answering it. I won't say your handle. Is it wrong to tell someone they make you feel safe? Absolutely not. It's not wrong to be in a relationship where, or in a connection with someone where you say to them, you make me feel safe. I'm going to tell you, I think it is incredibly attractive for both a man to tell a woman that she makes him feel safe and a woman to tell a man he makes her feel safe. Now, again, those of you from toxic culture, you're going to hear that and say that's simp conversation. Don't worry, I got a video for you next week. I got a video coming out, y'all, next week that's called Simps and the Women Who Love Them. Where I read a couple their rights. I almost felt bad for how hard I came down on this couple. Some of y'all from that culture, where you women actually think a man is simp because he needs to feel safe in your presence. And let me remind some of y'all, from a secure, masculine, confident, and secure man, let me tell you something. I got too much to lose to be around a woman that I don't feel safe around. If I don't feel safe around you or anything connected to you, I don't want to be around you. Because chances are, I got a lot more to lose than you do. There's a good chance that's the case. So when a woman can make me feel safe, where I feel like I can be myself with her, have hard conversations with her, share intimate conversation, that's next level. That makes sense? I saw a follow-up question. When they don't respond, what does that say? I did that as I learned to be more vulnerable. I regret it. Very good. They don't respond. They may have an unhealthy relationship with safety. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If a person makes you feel safe and they don't respond because they don't have a healthy relationship with safety, then how did they make you feel safe? And we got to be careful to be sure that we define what safety means to us. For all of these things, it's important that you define what harm means to you. It's important that you define what safety means to you. Because based on your frame of reference, the way you were raised, how you were protected and cared for by your caregivers, how you see safety, how 10 other people see safety may be two totally different things. Okay? So you need to define what that means. All right? That's a really good follow-up. Number 3. Is this helpful? I'm almost done. I got 10:08. Let me hurry. What is my historical relationship with correction? No, not self. It's simps and the women who love them. Y'all wait till y'all see that video next week. I could barely record the video telling the story because I couldn't hardly keep a straight face. Because when I went through my notes, it was like murder. What is my historical relationship with correction? You know why this one's big? This one is big because correction is a direct reflection of parenting. It is a direct reflection of how our parents and caregivers provide things like discipline and structure to us. So look at your life and ask yourself, what have my needs been related to correction? How do I respond to correction? Do I like to be chastised? Do I like to be corrected? How does correction make me feel? Now, just because correction makes you feel bad doesn't mean you're a bad person. It could mean you have a correction wound. If you were overly corrected to the point where you were abused more than corrected, then you, like an abused animal, might feel a certain way when someone raises their voice. Which is why, if you ever get a dog from a shelter that's been abused, you have to go on a waiting list and be interviewed and all these things. Why? Because that dog is going to go into an environment, coming out of an environment that where they have been abused. And if you don't have your temperament in order, you don't even realize that raising your voice can take that dog mentally back to another place. Is that making sense? So when we talk about correction, it's more than were you corrected or not. That's a part of it. Now, you could have a need as it relates to correction because you were never corrected at all, because of how you were never corrected. And if you've never been corrected at all and you want a secure person, good luck with that. This is why you spoiled brats, those of you that got your way and used to living your life having your way, you're going to have a hard time with a secure man or a secure woman, because you probably gonna get corrected. You probably gonna get called out some things. Some things are gonna probably be brought to your attention. And if you don't have the security to handle that, you will think people are attacking you. Ain't nobody attacking you. We just telling you what we didn't like. And when you never been corrected in a healthy way, you can't take feedback. You confuse feedback with correction. You confuse feedback with vindication. You confuse feedback with something that's personal. This is why when I meet people, I don't walk on eggshells. I just need you to know how I get down. Because that's going to tell me a lot. If you don't like correction, we probably won't do well. Now, Doc can handle correction. Now, because we got to be careful with this. There's a whole lot of people that like to dish correction and can't take it. But let me tell you something else about this correction wound. When you have not a correction wound, your challenge with the correction, if you have a challenge with correction, something else that I've noticed about people that have a challenge with correction, people that have a challenge with correction are the kinds of people who find joy in finding faults with other people. One of the things that I did a group counseling coaching session with some people from an organization. It was about 6 of them. And it was a really cool session. It was about 6 of them did a group session. I do some of those small group sessions from time to time. I don't do them as much now as I used to. But it was a really cool conversation. And one of the things that was lifted from this is we were having this conversation about the challenges of heal. One of the people asked a really good question, Doc, like, what are some of the challenges for heal people? Like, what are some of the day-to-day challenges that heal people go through as it relates to interacting with others? And one of the things that I mentioned is that when you are healed, people try to challenge you. And a lot of times that challenging really comes from a place of insecurity. It really comes from a place of insecurity. This is why I don't spend a lot of time in the comments anymore. One of my mentors got on me about this, and I had to really take heed to it. Because sometimes people say stuff just to say, I got Doc together, as if you win a prize for that. You still got 20 followers, and you still have no influence, and you still broken. But some people do this because they have a challenge as it comes to correction. And there's something else you can put with correction. Put in parentheses correction. I didn't even have it in my notes. I probably should have added it here. Put in parentheses next to the word correction, authority, because they kind of go hand in hand, which is why many of you get challenged by people when you're on a healing journey, when you're doing well. Then people try to shoot holes and poke holes into, what about this? What about, and try to look for it. Or you get hit with the ain't nobody perfect when you never implied that. This is how you know you're dealing with people that belong in C32A. They start talking about whether or not you're perfect just because you're having a disagreement. Nobody mentioned perfect. It is because you have a correction issue. You have an issue with authority. And it's fun. Y'all gonna find out when you get to this place of healing, folks just gonna be trying you, and you gonna be sitting around like, why are they acting like this when they really ain't got nothing to do with you? when, when people have a problem with correction, that correction turns into projection. Bar. When people have a problem with correction, put it in the notes. You're gonna be the smartest person in the water cooler tomorrow. I need 5 more minutes, April. When people have a problem with correction, it turns into projection. Some of y'all need to put that on your refrigerator. You didn't corrected somebody because they did something wrong to you, and now all of a sudden you being told about how arrogant you are. Huh? What? You, you just got on somebody for not showing up the way they were supposed to and not doing what they were supposed to. Now you being called arrogant. Oh, you think you better than everybody else? What? I just said, man, you didn't handle the situation right. I didn't say I was perfect. That's because when people have needs related to correction, that correction turns into projection. Last one. I'm done. What is my historical relationship with trust? Yeah, I mean, y'all in my position. This is why I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I love y'all. It'll be available on YouTube if y'all support the show. And then the way it's looking right now, it ain't gonna be up there. Thank you, brother Cameron. I appreciate that. Thank you for your super chat and for the church symbols. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. Y'all support the show so I can lead this up. But I'm gonna need about 30 more of y'all to support because right now it's been less than 10 of y'all. And this don't make no sense when it's nearly 3, 4. It's about 450 people on this line right now. Told y'all, I got to look up. I got to salvage Doc. Doc's got to salvage it himself. Let me tell you something. You know, I'm grateful for the tour last year. I met a lot of people. I'm going to meet more people this year. It's going to be great. But let me tell you something. I learned a lot of lessons in 25, and one of the and one of the lessons that I learned is that sometimes it's better to meet people that aren't aware of your journey so that you can really capture the essence of who they really are. Doc has been projected on before. It's just, it's bad. Like, I just be asking questions. Well, Doc, you can be wrong sometimes too, huh? I wasn't saying I was always right. I just had a question about this. Like, why are we putting that over there? Why are we moving that thing over there? People have challenges with correction. 4, what is my historical relationship with trust? What's your relationship with trust? In the context of your caregivers, in the context of your parents, guardians, or as far back as you can remember. Because your relationship with trust is going to tell you a lot too as it relates to whether or not you're wounded. Trust is a huge thing. We already know that trust is connected to things like fear. It's connected to things like control. And it's ultimately connected to our ability to be able to let go. Well, you will know you may have some needs related to trust if you also struggle with things like fear and control. Some people don't even realize that they have trust issues, but they do know they have problems with fear, worrying, always worrying about what's going to happen, what might happen, et cetera, stuff they can't control, et cetera, and control. So, I've said this before, if you are a control freak, it's a good chance you have trust issues. It's a good chance you probably have trust issues. And that's okay, but we've got to be honest about that because that is almost always beelining to some type of mommy or daddy or parental or guardian type of wound. What causes a parent not to trust you? It could be a number of things. It could be the way the parent is raised. It could be the parent's attachment style. It could be the parent's historical relationship with things like safety and harm. One of the things that I've seen, if you take a parent that was abused as a child, if a parent has gone through any type of abuse as a child, you might see that when they have children, they're extra tight on their kids. They're extra strict on their kids. They don't let their kids go out of their sight. And sometimes that's translated to things like possibly being too controlling. But it's really grounded in fear. I don't want what happened to me to happen to my child. So it can be a lot of different things. That's just an easy, quick, and dirty example. That you see people that have ever gone, if you've been through any kind of abuse at all as a child, when you have kids, you tend to, unless you ain't got no awareness, you tend to be a different level of protective and sometimes even controlling of your kids. I'm very protective over where my kids are and who they're around. I had to get on my daughter about this day in a very serious way about an incident at school. I had to get on her. Look, I will call that school and have you eating silent lunch before I let you sit at tables with kids who have no filter, who ain't being raised, and you get caught up in something because you're around it. Well, Doc, you're being too strict, Doc. I mean, Doc, they got to be kids, Doc. You being too. No, I'm not, and I don't have no wounds related to trust. I'm just not playing no games. Okay, so we have to be absolutely careful about things like that. But trust is a big one. Trust is big, and we need to figure out our historical relationship with trust because if we have challenges related to fear or control, those things tend to manifest in our marriages, our relationships, our work situations, work dynamics, all of those things. And you really have to get to the root of where those things came from. Trust is a very tricky one because trust has those stems, or because trust kind of stems off into things like fear and control, your inability to let go. You could sometimes point out where a trust need points to, the wound, the type of wound a trust need points to by examining your historical context or relationship with fear and control. How was fear taught to you as a child? Did you have a healthy relationship with fear? Absolutely get caught up real early, Roberta Morgan. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not playing them games. Did you have a healthy relationship with fear as a child? What type of reverence did you have for your parents, your caregivers? Was it a fear of they're going to do you harm, or was it a healthy respect type of reverence? This is important. I found that children who have a healthy reverence for their parents tend to be more trusting of others. Some of y'all don't trust people because you couldn't trust your parents because you thought they was gonna kill you every 5 seconds. I'ma kill you. Everything you ever heard out of them. I'ma kill you. I'ma kill you. I'm about to kill you. I'ma kill you. Get out of there. I'ma kill you. Screaming at you all day. I'ma kill you. I don't have to do that with my kids. I have a healthy they have a healthy level of reverence for me. And let me tell you how I know. The reason why I know it is because we can talk about anything. We talk about all kinds of things. We have very mature conversations with them. At 12 and 13, me and my kids, we talk about all kinds of things. But let me tell you how I really know I have a healthy reverence from them. It ain't because we can talk about stuff. Some of you in your parenting just go that far and you stop. Let's go further. Because just because you got a good rapport with your kids don't mean they respect you. Some of y'all, the rapport is too close. Your kid's more like your homeboy. And that's why can't nobody control them today. Your kids should not be your BFFs all the time. I know. I'm going to have to do a live series on just parenting. And it's going to piss a whole lot of y'all off. My kids love me most days. Some days they can't stand me. And when it comes to this daddy thing, and especially this single father thing, I think I'm one of the best to do it. If you know me personally, you can attest to that. I think I'm one of the best to do it. But my kids will even tell you. And I tell them it's okay if y'all don't like daddy some days. That means I'm doing my job. But your kids shouldn't be your BFFs every day. There has to be a healthy reverence. And the reason why I know I have a healthy level of reverence from my kids as their father is not because we can talk about everything. One of the reasons why I know I have a healthy reverence is because when I correct them, my voice don't even have to get this loud. Watch. And I can look back at them and guess what? Tears. Tears. Some of you may be saying, well, then, Doc, you don't know what those tears mean. You're right. You don't always know what those tears mean. But let me give you some things that they can mean. They can mean fear that I'm going to get in trouble, that there's going to be a consequence to my actions. Those tears can also mean, I like that, respect, that I've just done something to disrespect someone who cares about me and who's trying to raise me. Those tears can also mean disappointment and shame. And that's a beautiful thing because disappointment and shame combined with thank you, that's on my list, conviction. When a child feels convicted, that child got a chance to be all right. That means you are raising them with a sense of awareness. And me and my kids talk about the definition of self awareness almost on a weekly basis. So when a kid is aware, it's easy for them to be convicted. When a kid is not aware, they'll never be convicted. I like that, Dariana. It's absolutely okay if your kids don't like everything you say or do. But this modern age of parents, y'all too busy trying to be popular. Instead of trying to be a parent, you too busy out here trying to twerk and get you a man. And you need to be raising your kids. I'm gonna leave that alone because I really just feel like taking 5 minutes and going nuclear. It's tax season. Y'all bet not file no kids you ain't taking care of while I'm on it. Where they my kids? Do you take care of them? Huh? Do you take care of them? Tears are a beautiful reminder in children when they're being corrected that there's conviction and self awareness. And if you correct a child and you see tears, those tears are a reminder that they have some self awareness and they have conviction. That means you got a decent kid on your hand. You know when you want to be worried? When you correct a kid and that kid is mad and ready to fight you. You correct the kid and you got to sleep with one eye open. You got some more raising to do. So these are four things I want you to think about your historical relationship with that will point to mama or daddy wounds. Harm, safety, correction, trust. This makes sense? Was this helpful? Hope this was helpful. Hey, do me a favor, support the show. I would love to leave this up. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Thank you so much. But first, I'm thinking about it. I got to get this book that I'm pumping on, working on now, out. I'm gonna try to get this out in 2 or 3 months. Um, but I like talking about stuff like this. Maybe doing a book on wounds has been on my mind a little bit because eh, part of healing your attachment style is healing the wounds that are associated with your attachment style, which I talk a lot about in this next book. Key to healing your attachment style is healing your wounds. Why? Because wounds come from childhood, where attachment styles are born. So it's really easy. It's not hard to heal an attachment style if you understand it in that very methodical way. So the book is going to really talk about that and do it in a big way. Hey, support the show. I would love to leave this up. I hope this was helpful tonight. Let me shout all of my super chats. Let me go back through the list real quick. Thank you so much, Miss Parker. Appreciate you. Rachel Smith. Thank you. Naomi the G. We appreciate you, dear. I really do. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Such a sweetheart. Barbara, I appreciate you. Can't listen in the ER with mom. No way. Y'all please support so I can watch the replay. Hey, Miss Barbara, want to see this live. I need y'all's support. I need about 15 more of y'all to support. I really want that, Miss Barbara. We're praying for you and your mom. I hope everything turns out well for her. Thank you so much for your support. Miss Tammany, some things don't happen to you, they happen through you. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Thank you so much, my dear friend. Appreciate you. Jamila Rimbert, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. Support the show. You can go back and watch on YouTube if it is up. It depends on if people support tonight. I need you guys to support. Doc, you dropping gems tonight. I appreciate you, Ms. Robinson. LA, California love. I appreciate it. I'm start calling you California love. Appreciate you. California women are so sweet. I think that's why the Beach Boys wrote that song. I wish they all could be from California. California women are so sweet. Well, at least my experiences. I can't speak for nobody else. Thank you so much, dear. What am I? That's Dr. Drop. Okay. Rena, Rich, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. Jen Rose, super duper doc. Thank you so much, dear. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Robin Rogers. All right. Thank you. I like that name, Robin Rogers. That's a very catchy name. Thank you so much for your support. Y'all support the show so I can get your super chat up. I would really love to read off your shout out tonight. Um, Bakes great. Simps and the women who love them sounds like a bestseller to me. Let me tell you something. That video, appreciate your support. That video next week is classic. Some of you women gonna be mad, and some of you men gonna be mad too. This was a couple. I was shocked they wanted me to share it. I think the man was just shocked because he wanted me to share because he was more embarrassed than anything else. The lady was just she was she literally sat on the call like this the entire time. She just held her neck like this. She said, "Doc, I didn't think you was gonna look me in my face and tell me that my man was a simp and that something was wrong with me for thinking it was okay." It was bad. It was just ugh. Y'all check it out. So yeah, it's coming. Bakes great. Thank you so much, Cameron Harris. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, brother, for your support. Miss Asha Asia. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Y'all, why black people? Black people got 50 different ways to spell Asia. Asia be spelled ASIAASAH. Y'all know I love us. Y'all take that personal. Y'all know I love us. Thank you so much, Miss Asha Asia. I appreciate you. Camille Barnes, thank you so much for your support. Rena K. Rich, thank you. What WH at the ham sandwich? What the ham sandwich? I guess. Oh, what the ham sandwich? Yeah, you got that from a video. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much, and really appreciate your support. All of you. Y'all are so nice. And your name is Arabic. Awesome. Wow. I love that. Thank you so much. Y'all don't take this stuff so personal. This is really thank y'all. Let me just shut up. All right. Aisha. Yeah, Aisha is another one too. Uh, but we ain't gonna get into that. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Have a tremendous evening. Thank you so much for your support. Aisha. Spell your name. If it's Arabic, will you spell your name for me? Do you mind? I would love. I've always had a curiosity about names because of my name. My name has is biblical. Do not take it personal. It is. Spell your name for me. Is that how it's spelled in your handle? And thank you so much for being a good sport about it. I love my name. My name has biblical symbolism to it. Zebedee, the father of James and John, fishermen was known to be people who were great at winning people. I think that name suits me well. Okay, gotcha. And phonetically, how do you say it? Can you type it out phonetically how you say it? Is it pronounced as Aisha? Aisha means life. I like that. Yup. Are you talking to me? Okay. I Aisha. I got you. Aisha. Yep. See, it's so so many different ways. Listen, my name is Zebedee. I've heard all my life Zebedee, Zebediah, Zebedoo. I've heard it all. I just have. And it's so funny, like the boy song in the 80s, right? It's so funny. My son loves his full name. My son is Zebedee the fourth. He loves his full name. And it goes to show how trends always shift. When I was a kid, I got picked on about my name to the point where I didn't like for people to say my full name. Like, so I didn't like for people to call me Zebedee. So people would call me Zeb. When I got heavy into sports, they would call me Z. So Z, I got called Z the longest. To this day, my uncle still calls me Z. My dad calls me Z. My brother calls me Z. Right. Um, but I didn't like Zebedee because I got picked on. But now when I go to the school, like they be asking my son, like, what's your name? He'd be like Zebedee. And they love it. People love it. So it's just it's weird how that works, right? For sure. All right, I'm just rambling now, y'all. At this point, I appreciate y'all. Doc does need a nap, but hey, I made 10:38. I could have easily made 10:15, but this was a good live tonight. Do me a favor, support the show if you haven't already, so I can leave this up. The lady who you was trying to figure out how to say her name on YouTube was trying to help. Yes, she did a really good job. I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. And Zebaniah, really, Naomi? Zebaniah, really? What in the world is a Zebaniah? Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Support the show. I got 10:38. You got 20 minutes to support. Share the video. If enough people support, we'll leave it up so that you guys can check it out on YouTube. Peace and blessings. Do not tag me in any recipes that have Biscoff in it. So y'all cut that out and stop trying to taunt me. Don't tag me in nothing that's got Biscoff in it. Nothing. All right. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Rooting for you. Have a fantastic weekend. We've got an awesome video coming out tomorrow and some exciting things coming up real soon. Peace and blessings. If you're in the storm, be safe. Talk to you soon. Be good. Y'all are